Hello, amazing human beings. I am here to talk all about my brand new membership. It is called Thrive, and it is a new way that I am supporting spiritual entrepreneurs in growing their businesses, but really with this beautiful approach of a blend of business strategy, but also internal work. Because if you've had a spiritual business for any length of time, I would say definitely if you've been doing it for like at least a year, you know that it is so much about who you are as a person. It's so much about things like your emotional wellness, your habits, how you show up in all areas of your life, not just your business. And so we're going to be doing a lot of work on your marketing, your sales, your offers, all of that stuff, launch strategy, etc. But we also are going to be working on the human being. We're going to be working on your nervous system. We're going to be working on your own spiritual health and spiritual hygiene and spiritual connection. Because if you're a spiritual business owner, obviously your relationship with spirit, with the divine, is the essence of everything that you do for your clients. So we're going to be making sure that that is in top-notch condition. And it's really, like I said, this beautiful mix of strategy, spirituality, and your own wellness, your nervous system, your emotional well-being, all rolled into one. I literally do not know of any other membership where we hit on all three of these things consistently over an ongoing long period of time. This is the work that I do with my private clients, and it is something that I'm super excited to be distilling into a membership. It's obviously a much more accessible price point. It's also a group. So you're going to be responding to the energy of other people. You're going to be getting to hear the questions that other people are asking. There's going to be a lot more of like information, how to step-by-step training, and there will be Q&A support, the ability for you to hop on every month with me and get direct back and forth about your situation, your business, what you're going through. One of the things that I really love about the membership work that I've been doing so far is that we talk a lot about the intersection between your business and your life. So I have trainings in there about what to do when life is really hard, but you still have to show up for your business. We talk a lot about the flip side, what to do when things are hard in your business and how to kind of not let that ripple out and affect your life. So we talk a lot about these different things. We talk about the energetics of money and your relationship with money and how to have a healthy relationship with money. We talk about the spiritual side of money and how to look at money through a spiritual lens. So it really is just like a very thorough, very wrap around experience. And in this season of my business, I am feeling really called to support the whole person. You know, I used to get really in my head about like, am I a business coach? Am I a life coach? What do I do? Because I know I feel most called to work with spiritual entrepreneurs. So specifically spiritual entrepreneurs, not like people who have any business whatsoever, but like specifically people whose work in the world is of a spiritual nature. You're helping people on a spiritual or emotional journey. So I knew I was called to help spiritual entrepreneurs. I knew that I loved talking about the strategic aspects of business, designing programs, designing products, designing offers, doing your launch strategy, talking about how to share your voice authentically online, all of that stuff. I knew that I loved talking about that, but I also knew that I loved talking about manifestation and I loved talking about emotional healing and your nervous system and like letting go of trauma and healing a stress response. I knew that I loved talking about all of these things. And I was very conflicted for a while in terms of like, what do I do? What am I doing here? But I realized that what I do best is I help the whole person be who they are authentically, live their most authentic life spiritually, emotionally, and also in the business realm. And so that made it really clear to me, okay, this Thrive membership is about thriving holistically as a spiritual entrepreneur and really looking at like, what are all these areas and how can we make sure that all of these areas are functioning really, really well? So if you are a person who likes to take a holistic approach to your career, but also you like to take a holistic approach to your life. You're not trying to be a person who just, you know, I show up and I kill it and I crush it in my career, but the rest of my life is in shambles. And you're also not trying to like buy into the story that says that in order for me to thrive emotionally, I can't do well in my career. I can't, actually prioritize my business. Or in order for me to thrive spiritually, maybe like I'm not supposed to have money or whatever, like any kind of like trade off or any kind of, you know, trying to do, what is it? Basically, like anytime where you're trying to sacrifice one thing for another thing, you don't believe that you can have all of it at once. This membership is where you really are going to learn to thrive in all areas. So, in the spirit of this membership, and in honor of the fact that it is this really blendy, really holistic thing, I have decided to bring back the tarot cards. So, for any of you who have been with me since the very beginning, you know that I actually started off as a tarot reader. And I decided that it would be cool to come live and actually do a reading about this program to help us all kind of discern, like, who is this right for? Is this right for you who's listening right now? And just really to get a sense of like, what is the holistic vision for this membership, just to help you get more clarity for yourself on like, is this a good next step for you? So with that being said, all of the logistics about this membership, including like the pricing of it, the structure of like what is actually included in it, how many masterclasses you get, how many calls you get, like all of that is on my website. You can go to kasaithrive.com, KASAITHRIVE.com/thrive. That's also written out in the description of this video. You can go there and learn all about what the program is and like the structure of it. This little live stream reading moment is going to be more for the vibes. So what is the vibe of this program? Who is it really here for? What is the vision of it? What does the space look and feel like? And so I'm just going to have a little bit of a reading moment with you all to get a sense of who this is for. To keep the energy clean, I've got my selenite here just to make sure that like, everything that I'm picking up on is actually accurate and is actually for the people who are meant to hear it and to receive it. I've got some other crystals around, and we've got my everyday tarot deck, which was actually my very first deck that I purchased when I started off my tarot journey. So new offering, fresh slate, and we're just looking at like, who is this really for? I have some questions for myself up on my monitor over in this direction. So if I'm looking up here, it's because I'm looking at my questions, but I am 100% here with you. And the first question I have is really just like, who is the right person for this membership? Like, what do we need to know about who they are? Any information just about like who this person is, what kind of person they are. I already know that it's like obviously a spiritual practitioner, right? Who is interested in like their holistic journey as a full person, not just like, how do I crush it in my career at the expense of my life? Or how do I like have a fulfilling life at the expense of my career? But someone who really cares holistically about their whole life experience. And we've also got the 9 of Swords in reverse coming up. So for me, the 9 of Swords in reverse is that you're leaving a season where you have been struggling. You're leaving a season where you maybe have been disappointed, where you're carrying a lot of heaviness, and you're ready to really let that go, and you're ready to tap back into the joy, the lightness, the fulfillment, the fun of running a business. And it doesn't have to be that you're like, staying up at night, disappointed, crying, stressing over what's going on in your business. This also speaks to someone who's ready to stop overthinking things and someone who's ready to get out of their head. Because when you're too much in your head, when you are trying to like logic your way through every single aspect of your business, it can be really draining and it can stop feeling fun. And so it really just feels like there's someone who has gone way too far into trying to overanalyze and ruminate, and you are just like overthinking everything about your business. And you need to get out of that like analysis paralysis place, turn the analyzer down, and come into a space where you can be held in making the decisions that are going to get you into alignment with your business versus trying to do everything perfectly and worrying and freaking out that you're not doing a good job or that you're not doing it right, but really just letting yourself like have that freedom again, coming home to that joy and that excitement and that like receptive energy that you had when you first started your business, when you weren't putting so much pressure on yourself to do everything right and to do everything perfect and to know everything and to have it all figured out, and really just letting yourself be held in the container and put things together one step at a time. So if this sounds like you, chances are you're a good fit for this membership. And let's see what else is coming up. All right, next question. So where is this person at now and where do they want to be? So let's get a card for like where they're at now. We already have this 9 of Swords in terms of like maybe you are in a season where you've been overthinking, over analyzing, maybe experiencing a lot of anxiety about your business, and you're being called into a new place. So you're ready to move out of that season for sure, because it's the 9 of Swords in reverse. So you're ready to move beyond this experience that you've had of anxious, freaking out. Maybe you are losing sleep over your business. And if that's you, there are definitely some nervous system things that we can put in place to help you with that. But just letting go of this idea that you are stuck in a situation where you just have to be anxious, you have to be nervous, you have to overthink it. What I want to say to you just in general is that you are not going to be able to think your way to your next level. So maybe it's also that you're thinking so much that you're not even taking action because you are overthinking every action, or you're only taking actions that quote unquote make sense. So you want a result in your business that does not make sense. You want something remarkable. You want something exciting and expansive, but you're only taking the actions that make sense. And that is not a match. So actually, that's totally it, because we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So the Knight of Wands in reverse is a person who has no actual grounded sense of direction. You're just throwing stuff at the wall because you feel like, well, this worked for someone else, so let me try it for me. Or this is what someone else said, but let me try it. And you're just like, this is what I see working for someone else. This is what I see someone else telling me to do, looking outside of yourself for the answers, but your sense of direction is not coming internally. It's coming externally. You're being too influenced and too swayed by shiny object syndrome potentially. And so you're just letting yourself blow in the wind and go wherever. You're feeling very scattered right now because you're just throwing your energy wherever, and you don't have a clear sense of focus, and your focus is not coming internally. The Knight of Wands in reverse could also speak to a person who's not moving at all, potentially out of fear, right? And so the other card that we had come up in terms of where the person is at is the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles, for me, speaks to a person who is like being overly cautious to a degree where you're holding back. So what I'm really hearing is the holding back of resources, and that could look like anything depending on who you are. So resources generally might be your time. Maybe you're afraid to invest time into your business. Maybe you're afraid of overworking in your business, and so you're holding back and you're not putting any time into it, or you're putting very little time into it, or you're negotiating and seeing how little time you can put into it before you get something out of it. And that energy is a very, very, very hard place to grow business from. I was actually coaching someone today in one of my containers about how they felt like they were afraid to do too much work for free. And what I would say to anyone who's in that space, notice where you are trying to actively like conserve resources in a way that is not actually moving you forward in line with what you want. If you want a big presence, if you want to have people showing up and spending time in your paid work, if you want people to block off an hour of their life to do a session with you, if you want people to block off a month of their life to go on a longer journey with you, to take your course, if you want someone to block off a year of their life to be your mentee, your apprentice, you need to be willing to block off time in your life to run your business. Like, it's not about I'm working too much for free. It's about this is what it takes. A business requires love. A business requires care. A business requires devotion. A business requires energy and passion. And if you're not willing to put the time in to build the thing, why would anyone else be willing to put the time in to work with you? Right? It just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't add up. So you need to be willing to block off the time to actually build your business if you want people to be willing to block off the time to work with you. It's just, it's not a match. So for some of you, you're hoarding your time. For some of you, you are hoarding your gifts. Like, you actually have a lot more that you could be offering, and you're not offering at your full capacity. So maybe you actually have a knack for working in a certain way. Maybe you actually have a certain skill set or a certain kind of talent, and you're not bringing it forward, right? I'm thinking about someone who used to be a public speaker. That was their job. They were giving speeches, and they wanted to give speeches in their current coaching business, but they were just deciding, like, I don't see a lot of coaches doing public speaking. Public speaking is a different kind of business altogether. And they weren't even willing to integrate more public speaking into their coaching business, even though they have that skill set and even though they do feel like it's work that they would like to do. So if you have the skills and the talents to do something and you're holding yourself back from doing it, that is also a sign, right, that you are probably a good fit for this membership, but also it's a sign to go forward and bring your gifts and talents out into the world. If you are not shining your light the way that you could be, if you're not showing up in your full capacity with everything that you've got, chances are you are hoarding, you're holding back from your business, and that is leading other people to hold back from you, right? Like, people who want to live their life to the fullest are the kind of people who would hire a spiritual practitioner. And if you're not living your business to the fullest, if you're not showing up to the fullest in your business, you're not a match for the kind of client who wants to live their life to the fullest. So for some of you, you're hoarding time. For some of you, you're hoarding energy. For some of you, and energy in terms of like your gifts, your skills, your talents, like your energetic offerings. Some of you are hoarding your money. There are investments that you need to make into a business in order for it to run. I had to buy this microphone, right? I actually am about to get my computer, a repair done on my computer. That's going to cost money. I pay for coaching. I pay for all kinds of things. I pay for my team, right? I have contractors. I have someone who edits my podcast. I pay for the different softwares that it takes to actually run this thing. Like, I pay for Zoom, right? I pay for Podia, which is my course platform where my membership lives. I pay for all this stuff. Pay for Canva. So there's stuff you have to pay for if you want to run a business. That's just a fact, right? Like, trying to do your business, obviously you want to do it smartly, right? You don't want to be having to choose between paying for food and paying for, your team members. You want to make sure that you are budgeting in a way that is going to prioritize your holistic well-being. But you don't want to be in a place where you are afraid to spend money on your business, but then you want your business to generate money. So think about this in terms of just being a match, right? If you want people to invest in your company, to invest in what you provide, to invest in the services, the programs, the offerings that you have, do you want those people to pay for something that was done in like a low budget way? Do you want those people to pay for something and not have a great experience because you didn't invest in giving them the best experience possible? Like, the reason I got this microphone is because the microphone on my laptop sucks. And I did not feel comfortable having people pay to have a session with me when I knew that, like, the quality, the sound quality that I was able to give them on this laptop was not the highest, right? Like, of course, there's always going to be space. There's always going to be things where you can tweak it and you can refine it. But think about the kind of experience you want your clients to have. I have someone whose job it is to make sure that certain, customer communication goes really well. Why? Because I want my customers to be taken care of. I want them to know that they matter, and I want them to be given the highest quality of care that I can give them at this point, right? And so I have customer service person. I have someone who edits my podcast, right? Like, I can go on and on. Like, there's things I pay for because I care about my business, and I don't want my business to be this like low budget operation that is not able to provide the quality of service that someone is paying for. And this matters to me so much. This is a free, paid, whatever kind of thing. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? It doesn't matter if I'm doing a free workshop. It doesn't matter if I'm doing a, $15,000 private coaching package. I am going to set my business up in a way where it is high quality to the best of the budget that I have, right? And then as my budget grows, obviously the quality of things will grow, but invest in having a high quality experience for yourself and for your people. Don't feel like you need to hold back on the things that you know you have to invest in order to create a business where someone wants to pay and where someone wants to keep coming back and where someone feels held and where someone feels cared for and where someone feels prioritized because they see you investing and pouring into the business that you have. So for some of you, it's like you need equipment. For some of you, it's like you need support, like team members, like you need capacity, you need more hours being worked in your business, right? For some of you, you actually do need mentorship. Like there's skills that you don't have and you need to learn them. There are things that you haven't processed internally, like internal traumas, internal blocks, internal things that are holding you back, that you actually need someone whose whole job it is to help you process that. For some of you, you know that your spiritual connection is not where you would like it to be in order for you to hold the kind of space that you want to hold for your clients. And I commend all of my clients who come to me and they're like, actually, I'm struggling in my spiritual connection and I'm running a spiritual business. Everyone has those seasons where their spiritual connection is waning, where their faith is being tested, where they're not where they want to be in their relationship with God. Get support. Get someone to help you with that, right? Like get someone to help you be the person you actually want to be. Be the mentor, be the guide, be the healer, be the reader, be the person who you know you feel called to show up as in this world. Get someone who can actually help you be that person in your life. Because truly, at the end of the day, you have this calling for a reason. You are the person who can fulfill it, but you're not expected to fulfill it alone. You're not expected to just get out of bed every day as the best version of yourself. That's why there are healers in the world. That's why there are coaches in the world. That's why there are teachers and mentors in the world, is because there are people who are called to do big things who need help stepping into that bigness, who need help actually fulfilling the calling that is placed on their life. And so if you know that you are called to do big things and you know that you are not showing up in a big way, you know that you're not feeling aligned in a big way, you know that you're not committed and connected in a big way, hire someone whose whole job it is to help you be the version of you that can live the calling that is placed on your life. And so no matter where you're at with any of this Four of Pentacles in reverse is like you're holding back in some way, and only you can really discern and know what that way is. But if you're holding back in terms of like you're not accessing the level of support that you need in order to be able to fulfill the calling on your life, this membership is especially for you. This is for leaders. This is for people who have big visions. This is for people who have callings on their lives and who are trying to live a life of intentionality and a life of purpose. And if you don't feel like you have the support emotionally, strategically, spiritually to live your calling, this membership exists for that purpose, right? So think about that as well. Okay, I'm going to do one more question and then we will go, and I'll probably come back on here and read a little bit more because I'm not through all my questions, but I want to just be mindful and respectful of time. And I know that this is already a lot to digest and chew on. So I'll give you this, I'll let you digest and chew on this, and then I'll come back later. But the last question I will go through is really just like, what is this membership going to help someone do? So we've talked about the energy of who that person is. And you should probably already have a sense by now of like, is this me? Am I this person? But what is this really going to help someone do? Oh, actually, that reminds me. We did where are they now? Where do they want to be? So let's do that. Where does this person want to be? The person coming in, the person who is a match for this membership. We know where you are. where do you want to be? Let's end there. Let's end with where do you want to be? And then I'll come back later and do a reading again on like, what is it going to help people do, etc. I have other questions, but where are you now? Where do you want to be? So where does this person want to be? Ooh, okay, we've got the 9 of Cups. So where you want to be is very straightforward. You want to be content. You want to be at peace. You want to be grounded. You want to feel whole and complete within yourself, self-sufficient. You want to feel like you've got everything you need, right? The 9 of Cups energy is like, I'm not really looking for anything else. I feel fulfilled. I feel complete. And you can get to that place through a combination of inner work and outer work. So I don't think that anyone can be in this 9 of Cups frequency when the outside looks perfect, but the inside is a mess. And I also don't think anyone can be in this 9 of Cups frequency when the inside, maybe you're feeling at peace in your body, you're feeling at peace in your life, but externally, you're not seeing that reflected back to you. I think this 9 of Cups speaks really well to this sense of like, as within, so without. Like, I'm whole and complete within myself, and my ducks are in a row on the outside. And your ducks being in a row on the outside, it really speaks to like this sense of like, I feel sufficient. I feel abundant. I feel at peace. I'm not operating from lack. I'm also not perceiving a lack, right? In my life, things look full, things look whole, things look complete, things look good. I am content. I am happy. This 9 of Cups is also a very magnetic energy because you're not needy, because you're not putting pressure on the outside world to fulfill you or to give you anything or to validate you. You feel whole, complete, and validated within yourself. And when you don't need anything from people, that is when people come. When people don't feel like they're there to fill a role or to check a box in your life, but they know that they can just show up and be who they are, that is a very magnetic energy for clients, right? But also for all kinds of people. For anyone who might be supporting you, for anyone who might be helping you, for a team member if you're trying to attract a team member into your business that's like aligned and that's the perfect fit, right? When you're not like, the business is going to fall apart unless this person comes and helps, that's when you're going to call in the right person. You can hire out of desperation and then the person won't be the right person, or you can get whole and complete and then hire the right person, right? Same with clients. You can take on any person who will pay you, and you can put your prices down, as low as they can go, and you can overgive and overpromise and get yourself to the point where it's like, yes, I have the validation of, oh, a sale. Ooh, someone signed up. Ooh, I have a person. I have a client now. But that client is not the right fit. That's not the perfect client. And you don't even feel abundant because you undercharged, right? So the 9 of Cups person has overcome all of this. The 9 of Cups person is the person who is like, all is well. I am safe. I am whole. I am taken care of. I am complete. And so really that speaks actually very beautifully to this Thrive essence. You're in here to work on yourself. You're in here to work on your business. You're in here to work on your relationship with spirit. You're in here to get yourself aligned. And when you get yourself aligned in this 9 of Cups, what comes afterwards is the 10 of Cups, right? The fullness, the community, the like relationships, the healing, like everything that comes after the 9 of Cups is like that big, harmonious, thriving community vibe. But in order to have that, in order to be even open to that, in order to be a match for that, you have to go through this 9 of Cups place of I am aligned and whole and complete within myself. So if you know that you need to get to this 9 of Cups place, if that's what you're seeking, if you're seeking the energy of I am content, I am happy, I lack nothing, I am abundant, I am whole, complete within myself, the Thrive membership is perfect for you. You are a fit, you are the person. And I just want to bring here before we close, we started off with the 9 of Swords in reverse, and we ended up with the 9 of Cups upright. So if this is the journey that you know you need to go on in your life, if you're here, if you're struggling, if you feel like you are up at night, if you're anxious, if you're in your head, and this is honestly something that I just want to be honest about, like if you feel like, you know, you're in your head, if you feel like things are not working, if you feel like you need support right now, this is here. This is here for you. This membership is here for you. And this will help you get to this 9 of Cups place where you are genuinely feeling fulfilled, whole, complete, happy, content. So it's an internal thing. It's about how you're going to feel on the other side of this. Because the truth of the matter is, of course, if you do this work, you're going to make more money. Of course, if you do this work, you're going to be content. Of course, if you do this work, you're going to be thriving externally and internally. But the motivation behind why you would come into this container is that something is not right on the inside. There's some kind of anxious thing, there's some kind of nervous system thing that is pulling you to realize you need to have a transformation, you need to have a shift in your business. And let that speak to you, let that guide you, let that be an actual catalyst. Honor yourself, honor what your body is telling you, honor what your nervous system is telling you, and remember that you do deserve to be in this place where you're whole, where you're complete, where you're happy, where you're abundant, where you're not feeling a sense of lack. So with that, I love you so much. I'm going to end this here. I'm going to send this replay out so that it gets to all the humans who are a fit for this membership. And I will be back on another day doing the rest of this reading, which is going to be more focused on like what the program is, what the work is that we're going to be doing together, and really like what you can expect to see on the other side. Like what are the changes, more digging into the transformation piece. But if from this reading you know that you are the right person, you know you're in the place of this 9 of Swords, and you know you are moving into and feeling called to go into a 9 of Cups season of your life and of your business, this is a fit for you. And you can safely, confidently know, like, this is it. This is my next step. So check out the website. It is in the description below this video. I love you so much. I will see you again at some point soon. And the doors to the membership are closing on July 17th. So you've got plenty of time. Sit with it, check it out, reach out if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you again some point soon. Bye.